so today we're going to talk about tips for email marketing for Shopify apps. So let's just get started. So who am I to talk about email marketing? We have 5 different apps on the App Store right now, and we run email marketing pretty much for all of them. But I think actually my experience comes from being a Shopify merchant. I've been a Shopify merchant for 3 years, something like that, and we developed, I think email marketing is way more critical for e-commerce stores because they actually see the revenue coming from it. And over the time, we developed a lot of unique techniques for our Shopify store, and we brought a lot of it from being a merchant to Shopify apps. And we actually managed to generate some impressive results, I think. We got to a conversion rate of 17.3 on one of our emails, which is pretty unique. Just getting 17% click rate, that's good. And we got to a 17% click rate, conversion rate, sorry. So let me show you how we did it. So first thing you need to ask yourself is what's your main KPI when it comes to email marketing? And with e-commerce, usually it's pretty straightforward. You care about the revenue being generated at the end. But everything is pretty much the same with email marketing. You care about out of how many emails you sent, how many were opened, how many were clicked or replied to, depends on what you're trying to get, and then what's your conversion rate. Now the thing is with SaaS, with apps, the conversion rate per email might be a little different, depends on what you're trying to get. If it's an uninstall email, then probably you want to get the merchant back. If it's an install email, maybe you want him to take the next step towards activation. So it's important to mention that it's going to be different, and you must track this conversion per event you're trying to achieve. Key principles. I think the main key principle for SaaS is focus on activation. For e-commerce, it's generating revenue, and I see that many app developers focusing on education for email marketing, which is cool, it's something important, but it's not the main thing you need to focus on. The one thing you care about is to get merchants or users for your app to activate the app, to finish all the steps they need to take in order to get started using or paying for the app. So it's really going to change from one app to another, but basically you want to start by either, if someone didn't install the app yet, if it's a prospect, you want to send him an email showing him why he needs to install your app and get him to install the app. If he did, you want to make sure the next step would be probably to approve payment or select a plan. After that, you want him to actually activate the app, because if he's not going to activate the app, there's a good chance he's going to churn pretty fast. And after that, you want to probably get him to upgrade. And yeah, the activation process, by the way, may take a few different emails, depend on the steps. Some apps just take 1 click, some apps takes a little bit longer. So it depends on your app. You want to divide it by the amount of steps that are necessary for your app.
Can I ask something?
I think it's best to have questions in the end, because I might answer it later. Good chance I won't, but probably, maybe. All right, so other key principles you want to implement. First of all, always be testing. You always want to test everything. As long as you're testing, your emails are getting better. So things you can test, first of all, is sending times. And sending times, it's also, there are a few ways to test it. First of all, timing, what time of day, what day of the week. You want to split this out and see what works best. Time after event. So if this is an uninstall email or a welcome email or anything like that, review email, review request, you want to test out how much time after something had happened you're going to send the email. And then time between emails. So usually you're going to send a series of emails for each action you want the user to take. So you want to split test the time between each email until you get the user to take a result. Subject lines, it's pretty self-explanatory, but it's going to affect your open rate for the email, so it's important to always keep testing the subject lines. Email content, there are a few types of content you should try. The 2 main ones that we've been playing with and that are working is either a formal thing that looks like from your brand, like an official company email, and the other one is more like a personal email that looks like someone wrote it personally for the user. Another thing you want to consider, and this is probably more with formal emails, is all sort of clickbait. If it's a YouTube thumbnail that's going to provide the illusion of a video inside the email and going to take them to the relevant link. If it's a question, that's going to get them to answer the email. Or if it's a GIF, anything that can get them to click on something, you want to play with it and test it. Yeah, and you can use any combination of these. And then the last thing is when to stop an automation. Let's say that someone installed your app and he didn't select a plan. So when do you stop sending the email about please pick a plan? There are two options. Either he got converted and then you need to stop, or you don't get any results from the last email. So let's say you sent out 3 emails and from the last email you're still getting results. It's a good idea to add a 4th email. So just keep doing that until you don't get any results. All right, so this is just an example of how we split test different subject lines. I don't know if you can see it. By the way, we're going to have a link to the presentation after that. We're going to send it out, so you're going to be able to see. But first of all, each time we just change something new, see what works better, gave us the better open rate, and just kept that version, and then just kept split testing until we got to really optimized version. And this is kind of an old screenshot. We keep split testing it all the time. Apologize for my broken English. And then between content types, this is the exact same email. One version is us asking, let's say personally, from the user to activate the app. And the other one is more like a brand version. It looks more official, and it's pretty obvious what we want him to do. And again, you can really test it out. And from what we've seen, in some cases, this version works better. In some cases, this version works better. I suggest you just test it out and see what works for you. And depends on the action you're trying to get. When to stop sending email, I already mentioned the method, which is always let the data speak. If you're still getting results, you want to keep sending emails. So this is an example of email we sent asking to activate the app. It's pretty much the same email from before. And then first 3 emails, we saw that after the 3rd email, we're still getting 3.4% conversion rate. So we decided to send 3 more emails. We saw that after the 6th email, we're still getting 1.3% conversion rate. And then we decided to send 2 more. And after the 8th email, we're still getting 1.1% conversion rate. So that means this is not optimized. We need to send more emails, just to let you know. So don't think you're kind of bothering the merchant if it's very clear what you need him to do, and either way is not going to generate any revenue if he's not taking this action. You just want to keep pushing him towards this action, especially if you believe in the value of your app. There is no reason not to get him to get the value from your app. And this is how it looks like if you just don't split it. It didn't get inside one page. All right. And then emails you need to send. There are endless amounts of options you can go with, but I'm just going to go a few of the best practices, things you want to play with. So activation, we already mentioned that. If it's approving payment or selecting plan or upgrading, activating the app depends on the stage. Welcome email. And this is, I think, something that is kind of important to mention. Most app developers send the welcome email right as they install the app. From what we've seen, it might cause more damage than it helps. So we send the welcome email only after they completed the steps we want them to take. After they activated the app, then we send the welcome email. Thank you for using it. Best practices, guides, everything that is relevant. You want the demo, you want anything, no matter. You can do it from the welcome email after. Sorry for that. My phone is not quiet. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So this is about the welcome email. Review requests. A few points that are important when you ask for reviews via email. First of all, you want to do it when the merchant is getting results from the app. Don't just send it out at a random time. You want it to be based on an action. So if you generate revenue the first time or the X amount of time you generate revenue, then send the email, hey, we generated revenue for you, thumbs up, give us a review. And then you want it to be personal. So if you, and I'm going to keep going with the example of the revenue, if you generated a revenue for him, you want to let him know exactly what happens and how it happens, and let him know that it's your responsibility that it happens. And then you want to have 5 different links. Okay, so you don't want to have just one link of review us and send them to the App Store, because then if they didn't like the app, you're going to jeopardize your App Store rating. You want to have 5 different links. If they click the 5-star, take them to the App Store. Anything else, internal feedback. And then partners and affiliates. You want to try and identify potential partners and send a different or some sort of a welcome email for them that might open up the opportunity for a partnership. It can be either for affiliate stores, development stores. Sometimes agencies open up a development store, building out the brand and then release it. So you want to catch them at that point. Maybe they can refer other stores, or you can have, if you have a list of emails of different influencers or big names in the industry, you want to maybe, if you see a match between the install and the store email, you want to send out an email telling them, thank you for installing, I've heard about you, let's partner up. All right, and then weekly newsletter. Again, this is education. I'm going to show you another tip about it a little bit later. And then uninstall emails. This is again where you want to be personalized and send the email based on the experience the merchant has. So for us, for example, we have two different uninstall emails. One is if it didn't approve payment. For us, for all of our apps, I think we immediately ask the merchant to approve payment and then charge based on usage. So if it didn't approve the payment and then uninstall, we understand he never got to the app. The only reason he uninstalled was because he didn't understand the pricing, and then we send a specific email about that. If he did install the app and play with the app for a while, then we ask him, hey, why didn't you keep going? Please give us some feedback so we can improve and try to get him back. And after a while, if you see that it doesn't work, try to maybe offer a discount or an incentive for him to get back. And retargeting website visitors, you can kind of look at it as part of the activation process, but if you probably have some pop-ups on your website, just make sure that if someone subscribes, you want to send him some education about the product to get him to install the app. So this is an example of when someone installed the app but didn't move forward. We send him, again, always just to the next step, and we're going to send him right to the step where he needs to take the action. So we're just going to send directly to the approved payment page on Shopify, and he's going to proceed from there. App activation, again, this is after he approved payment, but we see that he didn't activate the app yet. We only care about him activating the app. So if you're ready, activate. If not, go ahead and customize your thank you page. By the way, if you don't know what ReConvert is, we customize the thank you page for Shopify merchants. All right, and then this is a review email. You can see we say, hey, we generated the first order for you. This is the customer, this is the order number, this is how much revenue it is, this is how the order was generated. Give us a review, okay? And this is what it looks like. If they click anything other than the 5-star at the top, we send them to a different location, internal feedback. You can do it however you want. Potential partners, again, personalized email saying that we see the potential for a partnership opportunity, so we send them to our affiliate program. We ask them if they want to schedule a demo or maybe explore future partnership. Okay, how and when to start. So I don't know if there are anyone here that's just thinking about building an app or don't have his first app. We suggest starting out from the very first day, but start only with the activation process and have one email per step, depend on your app. After that, just make decisions based on data. So again, I said if you see results from the first email, send another email. You see results from the second email, send another email, and try to just break down the funnel and every time send the user to the next step. Secret hacks, and I think this is where things maybe might be more helpful. I think most of the things I said so far are pretty obvious to probably most of you. So the first thing is to convert clicks to conversions, and this is really where you take your email marketing to the next level. And the second thing is Evergreen newsletter. So I know that many times you think about what to send next week, should I send an email this week, or how to manage that, and it's kind of hard to always come up with new things to write. So we created something that kind of solved that for us. About converting clicks to conversions. You want to, if you send an email about an action you want the merchant to perform within the app that is not related to any external billing system like Shopify's, if it's just, activating something specific or, changing something within the app. For us, what we've done is if we manage to understand that the merchant have completed the entire setup process, the only thing he didn't do is actually activating the app. What we're doing is we added a button in the email that once he click it, if it's ready to activate, you just click the activate button, we send them back to the dashboard and already activating the app for them. And this is how we actually took the email from 17% click rate after a lot of optimization to 17% conversion rate, because the goal of that email was to get them to activate the app and 17% of the people who got the email actually activated the app because we did it for them. So this is, I think, one thing you should use. Think about your app, where this can help, and use this because it's very effective. But yeah, if you don't split test the emails, then it's going to be not as effective probably. And then an Evergreen newsletter. So yeah, if you're thinking about what you should send to merchants, what I recommend doing is create an automation for all the merchants that are now installing the app. It can be very simple at the beginning, just a very simple education about the products. And as you move forward, over time you're going to have more new releases, new blog posts, new integrations. Just whenever you do a campaign blast to all of your users, just take this email and put it at the end of this sequence for new merchants. And then over time, it's just going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to generate this evergreen email campaign that is being sent to new merchants, and it can be months of emails without you even having to think about it for new users. So you don't really every week have to think about this, the next email you need to send this week. Questions?
Can I ask?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much. Two questions. One about the conversion, clicks to conversions. Most merchants will open their emails on the mobile, from my experience. So how do you make that work once they click? Because I know that they don't usually manage their apps on the mobile.
So yeah, so Yoni asks, how does it work with mobile users? It doesn't always work. Okay, what you can see is maybe, I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't really always work.
Do they land inside the app or on an external page?
No, it's inside the app. To be honest, I need to check it, but I think it shouldn't be a problem. You can just take the action because it's going to,
For us,
if you use an
always
API.
a challenge with
Yeah.
email. And the second question is with the Evergreen newsletter, what's the cadence? Like if you send a new email, you add it to be sent like 1 week after the last one, 2 days? What's the...
So yeah, for us, we do it once a week because we do sometimes occasionally have new announcement, and we don't want it to be over spamming the users. And we have like smart sending feature where if you send an email this week, then you're just going to skip the next one. Once a week or once every 4 days to a week, that's like a best practice. And this is what I just know from e-commerce. Yeah.
All the emails that you have, are there stores that already installed your app, and did you opt in for the email, or you just?
So yeah, he's asking if we were sending the emails only to people who opted in or just people who installed. No, we send emails to people who installed, but when someone uninstall after 72 hours after the third email for uninstall, we stop sending emails. Yeah, but we don't have a double opting or anything like that. When someone installs, we consider it as.
Do you have mails like for someone that still didn't install your app, or you don't do that, like with your content or?
Oh, so no, we don't. So usually for people who uninstalled the app, we stop sending emails unless they subscribed. Otherwise, for people who subscribe through pop-up on our website, we keep sending email as long as they didn't unsubscribe. All right. Yeah.
I just want to add one thing about sending more emails. We really care about our email reputation. Now, if we continue sending email and they're not open, or domain ranking of sending email can be hurt. So just one add to what you said, which is try to add more emails, start excluding those that are not opening. So like if you have someone who didn't open the fourth email, exclude them from the list. So in the fourth and the fifth, he's not going to open that email.
Yeah, true. You want to maintain your reputation. I'm just repeating for the video. You want to maintain your email reputation. So if people don't opening a bunch of emails and they're not active, you want to exclude them from the list. Also, important thing is to not only split test. The first email is the most important of every sequence, but you do want to split test every email in the sequence because the thing is, let's take uninstall, for example. You want to have a series of email, and in each email, you want to tackle a different pain point for the merchant, because some merchant might uninstall for that reason, and other merchants might uninstall for a different reason. So in each email, you want to tackle a different pain point and keep split testing it to optimize for results. Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you find that offering more trial days in the uninstall email can help? Like you mentioned something about a discount.
Yeah.
Like, if someone uninstalls, you send them an email, you may be offering a discount. How about an extended trial period?
We didn't try it, to be honest. I'm guessing, again, it's an incentive. You need to test what works for you. So either extended trial, a demo, I don't know, a credit for the app, anything like that. Just figure out what works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, you suggested to split test, right? To try as many variations as possible.
Yes.
And I saw you did split test like 7 different versions, right? What's ideal? Like how much traffic do I need to get to really split that much?
Okay, so that's a whole different question. But either way, just start with 2 different variations if you don't have much traffic, and you're going to probably see somewhat of a difference. If you don't see enough difference, either split a third option that is completely different, or just give it more time to. After a while, you're going to see which one works better. All right. The question was again how much data you need to know if the split test was successful or not.
Which software are you using?
We're using Klaviyo. We're using Segment to send all the events and properties to one. It's a connector, and from there we send all the data and the events to multiple different tools. So Klaviyo is one of them. Mixpanel is another one. Crisp, our help desk, is the third one, and we don't have to recreate the integration. We just do it one time, and it sends it all over the place. Any other questions? Yes.
When you're doing split testing, do you do like a true A/B test where you're only testing one very specific variable at a time, or do you, in one email, you'll test the subject line and also the color?
Only one. It's either you split testing the subject line, the sending time, or the content of the email. You can't split more than one absolute thing at the same time. Otherwise, the results you're going to come up with are probably not super accurate, and you're not going to know what's the one thing that actually converted better. Okay, guys, it's already a lot of time. Thank you for listening. I hope it was helpful.